This production is supported using public funding by the National Lottery through Arts Council England. Welcome to another episode of the Bhandwagon Podcast, and today is a guest that we throw around the word legend a lot, especially in my podcast, and it's a bit of a bad habit of mine. But I think today legend is not adequate. Today we've got an icon, and not just of the UK Bhangra scene or the Punjabi folk scene. This icon is classed as an icon for the whole world. A person who I've referenced to quite a lot in the episodes, and I think now was about time that I managed to kind of get some time from his busy schedule around the world and brought him here in a live production. So without further ado, the King Gurcharan Mall.
Hello and बहुत सारी सत श्री अकाल.
Okay, I've said it before with other guests, but every time when I've try and shake hands over this table, it's very difficult. And I know you're a very huggy person, so this is the first time I've shaken Uncle's hand rather than actually giving it a hug. Get it? How are you? I mean, you're looking fantastic.
Thank you. God is great, and thanks to my mom and dad and my wife and God's blessing and everybody blessing. Life is wonderfully good. Health is good. Family is good, and also my teaching and performing. Excellent. I can't ask Waheguru for anything more.
In this conversation, I want to kind of put together the different layers of your experience over the years.
Okay.
And then, we'll get to the things that you're infamous for. But I think the lessons in your life especially are before you became super famous, let's put it that way, and world renowned, especially for around the Dhol. I want to know from being a child born in Hukampur in Punjab and then going to Ludhiana at the age of sort of 4.5 into city life. Those experiences that you earned then, and then coming to the UK in 1963, how important was those experiences that you got make you the person that's in front of me right now?
When I was little, we moved from Hakimpur, we moved to Ludhiana, and all the singers and older singers, they were there, and I used to sneak in just to watch them, and that Tumbi Di Tar and also the beat of the Toluk. So when we came into UK in 1963, my dad wanted me to study, like every parents do. They wanted me to study and become somebody with a good qualifications. And so I started studying here, but at the same time, I started to mess around with the Dholki. But, you never plan anything. You start doing things as a hobby, but you never know where it's going to take you. But it's a very, very big struggle because we had no teachers to teach us, because the community was very, very little. And them days, the most concentration was to work, earn money, to send money to India, to the families. And so when I started to play the Dholki in the Gurdwara, community was very little, and so I just mess around. So all the singers and musicians, that's how they all learned. Their starting is from the Guru Kar. And so whoever the singer, they would listen to a song and keep on repeating themselves. And anybody want to play the keyboard, and me starting on the Toluk. So not knowing whether I was doing the right way or not, till I meet senior artists, had the company of them, then I knew where I was going wrong and what were the rights.
So when you were, talking about music, your first experience with instruments was in Punjab, in Ludhiana at the time, or was it when you came over to the UK?
Because I came to the UK in 1963 and I was 11 and a half years old. The only reason I can remember that because up the age of 12, the ticket used to be half price, flight ticket.
Yeah.
So I remember clearly, otherwise I don't remember a lot of things, but I remember that because, so it was my mom, myself and my younger brother, we came. And so the toll only started in the UK. And then, I formed a small, group called Nadan Group. And very, very proud to say some of the artists who made big names themselves, who joined other teams or formed other teams. And
Maybe I know Uncle's been really modest. He's been really modest here, but some of the members in that group, can you just name a few of them who are very familiar now, or especially don't get the recognition, especially as being the founding fathers of UK Bhangra and Punjabi folk music?
Well, Danny Chirangi, he's one of them who formed, he was part of DCS. And there was another Danny. There was both Dannys, who we used to call Danny 1, Danny 2. And the other Danny, he was part of Chirag Pehchan. And another member, Sham, he used to play the accordion. And he also, after Nadan Group, he went and joined Chirag Pehchan. And also there was Inderjeet, who used to play the saxophone. He was the first gentleman who started playing saxophone in a Bhangra team. So him, and then we had Lashkar, who was a singer at that time. Like there were so many. The biggest name that who done Piche Piche on the Meri Tor Venda Jai, Miss Ramaji. She was a fantastic artist. And, unfortunately, for a few years, she was out of the scene. Then with that song, she came back on. But then, due to family commitment, things happen. But like I said, out of Nadan Group, there are so many wonderful artists who were so talented, who formed either their own team. And like Danny, he formed DCS. And the other Danny, he joined Chirag Pehchan. He was the bass guitarist and things like that. So wonderful memories.
Because I've seen an interview where the legend as well, Sukhshinder Shinda, he was talking about yourself and the relationship between his brother and you. Had a special connection, especially during the Nadan years when that was happening.
Now, thank you for putting me right. And thanks to Shinda Paji. Yes, before Apna Sangeet, I used to go to Sangat and his brother Moni Paji. He used to, oh my God, he was so handsome. I used to be jealous of him, Moni Paji, because he was so good looking. He used to wear a burgundy color jacket, right? And he used to go to Sangat, both of us. He used to sing Hindi songs in like a religious type, but tunes used to be Hindi. And then I asked him, I said, Moni, why don't we form a team? So it was me, Moni Paji, and Harcharan Singh, who used to live on Rukri Road. He used to live on Antibus Road. I used to live on Holyrood Road. And Paji Harcharan, he used to live on Rukri Road. And we used to practice at his house. So we practiced for about 3 months. The Moni said, let's start doing programs. Because he could already sing. And I was okay on Dholki. I mean, not that fantastic, but okay to pass the time. Yeah? And the Harcharan Paji, he was weak on the harmonium. And I said, look, we only practice 3 or 4 songs. We can't start doing weddings, spending 2 hours on the stage with only 4 songs. And then because we could already sing, and then he left us. And then at that time, we didn't have a proper name for our team. And then he left us, and then he formed a Namana Group, where people start to recognize Moni Paji from there. And, because he could already sing, and some of the members he gathered, they could play a little bit and also play the harmonium, whatever. So it was good for them. And then after he left, then we waited, and then I formed Nadan Group. So first was us, and then Moni Paji left. He formed the Namana Group, and then I formed Nadan Group. So one thing led to another, yeah.
I've heard you speak quite a lot, and the pressures of, especially when your dad sacrificed quite a lot, and it was a big 5-bedroom house, I think it is when you first came here, and it was an experience of when you said that there was once in 1963 there was a big snowstorm, and that was the first time when you saw your dad coming in, because your dad also had severe asthma. When you saw that made you think about your own work, whether being a paperboy and working in the cinema, doing all these things?
Yeah, what happened was, in India, my dad spent a lot of money on me. for education. In Ludhiana, he sent me to a private school. And then 2 years before we came here, he sent me, in 1960s, there's nobody in the UK who could say that they went to a private English school. My dad sent me, he said, before my son comes here, at least he'll be, but I wasted my parents' money. Then when we came here, it was heavily snowed. And for me to open my eyes, thank God, I opened the door for my dad. He had very, very bad asthma. And he was so breathing so heavily. Then I went into my room. Then I swore at my own self. I said, you idiot, look at your dad's health. He sent money to India for you to get educated. What did you do? Nothing. So then I said, I was so determined. I said, I want to become somebody. So my dad didn't want me to become a musician. Why did we have to come to England if you wanted to play the Dholki? You could have done that in India and starved to death. Because there was no money for musicians. Even for singers at that time, it wasn't that much money. Okay? And then, you beefcoof, you idiot, now wake up. So at the age of 12, my dad opened my eyes. And then I started to do the paper round. So morning, I used to do the paper round and then go to school, then come back and do the paper round, And then I said, now I will not be a burden on my parents. So I just worked. I just became a workaholic. I used to work in a grocery shop as well. I was only young. I was only about 14 when I started to work in the grocery, doing paper round as well while I was still in school. Then I started on my apprenticeship. I think I was making my parents proud by going to college doing my mechanical engineering, but I was a fool. Because when you get the qualification, your parents can't take that away from you. Even if they did, they can't find a job because it's your name. But you're on little, you don't realize these things till you grow up. And then you say, hang on, your parent, they're shouting at you, ya pyar dena, or they're shout at you reason because they love you. They want you to become somebody. They want you to be a lot far better than they was. Things that they could not give it to you. At least when you're married, you can give it to their children. So that was the aim. So slowly, when I started, and my dad was a Gyani in a Gurdwara, and I started on the Dholki. So my dad's friend used to say, "Kithe to Gyani ha, kithe tora munda Dholki bajaunda hai." Right, like they used to look down on people, right? Yeah. So my dad used to get upset a little bit, but then he said, "What can I say to my son? He don't smoke, he don't drink, he got no company." Apart from he does paper round and he goes to part-time in the evenings work. So, he's not a burden on us and he got no bad habits. So how can I tell him not to play the dholak? So then, because he didn't say it, and I knew who was telling my dad these things, I could have really said, well, what's your problem? I said, Gurcharan, keep your mouth shut. Practice. Become somebody. Be good. So then every time I used to see them, we start to get bookings and they just start to do the barne, whatever. And so the same uncles, I used to still bow down, touch their feet, Uncle Ji, Sat Sri Akal and whatever. And they was the same people who used to go back to my dad. Gyani, tera ta munde bahut good si. ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਭਰਾਵਾ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਮਾਏ, he learned a lot of money and ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੈਰੀ ਹੱਥ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ. But never ever my dad used to say, son, well done, I'm proud. Never. He used to sit in that corner, used to just smile a little bit.
But he used to see it though, didn't he? He didn't have to say it. But that generation, they never used to show their love. They used
that's it. The reason being is, that you learn afterward. Why? Because he thought, well, just in case if I said, well done, he might go wrong way. For him to be controllable. And then, I worked in pubs and worked in nightclubs. And in between, I used to do martial arts. I used to do boxing, only to keep fit because my dad used to say, look, son, because in them days, there used to be a lot of teddy boys and then they become Hales Angels and whatever. So we used to be very small community, and we thought, well, this is no good. We need to start to get fit and start to do weightlifting and martial arts and whatever, at least just to protect ourselves, you know. And
especially late 60s, because my dad just talks about the influence of Bruce Lee. Everyone was just...
my hero.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. He's my hero as well. I got loads of Bruce Lee stuff. But then he inspired a whole generation of not just only Asians, but you know, a lot of the black community, especially around Handsworth at that time. I think people don't understand the history of Handsworth and how it's interconnected with the history of Bhangra, making our kind of musician legends and whoever.
Talking about Bruce Lee films, or even before one-armed boxer and things like that, I used to be, so I've done a lot of different things. I used to be a projectionist in a cinema. Just so
I said cinema, didn't I? I've done my research, innit?
And then the only reason I started as a projectionist, so I could watch free films, not to earn money, stupidly. I thought I can watch free film. But then I joined English cinema, and after the film finished, and all you see on the street, people saying, "Oh, wow!" You know, because they've been watching martial art film, and especially when Bruce Lee came, because all these shouts and whatever, he was doing it for a reason, because to frighten his opponent, and also because he used to get power through these, so it was good.
Because I know your school of teaching the Dhol was about stamina and clarity and the pure of the art, which is almost, you know, bringing together what Bruce Lee's philosophy was about. Definitely. Bringing things together. I'm trying to tie everything together here. But you also, you know, during the time before Apna Sangeet, and we'll get there, you know, was talking about, you know, with Tiranga group and Punjab group, your Bhangra teams, and then teaching in Aston University as well at that time. A lot of people don't understand this. How were you able to balance family life, the calling of different arts that you're doing, and obviously there wasn't that much money in the entertainment then? How were you able to kind of balance that in?
You know, for the first 7-8 years, I never bought a single penny home. I spent money out of my pocket. In the Sangat, we started a small Bhangra team, and then Prem, he was a very good friend of mine, and we used to work on Soho Road on 2 shops. He used to work in one, I used to work in, we used to get together. I've seen his team, Tiranga group, they was very excellent. So Meka Prem, look, I started on the Dhol, how is it if I come and practice with you guys? More than welcome. Because his aim was, we'll have a Bhangra group, because he can play the Dhol, Prem, and I could play the Dholki, so we can make a small singing group as well, which a very good idea. And so I started, and his speed was too fast. Oh my God. And I used to get tired within seconds, because I only started playing the Dhol only a few months, and he was playing for about 7-8 years. And one of the guys said to, right in front of me, he said, "Prem, Gurcharan to Dhol lada, itko bajda niga." I was going to say to him, I said, "Hang on, look man, he's been playing for 7-8 years. I've been only not even a year. How can I compete?" Then I said, "Gurcharan, keep your mouth shut. Work. No, don't answer nothing. You work, practice, press ups, Dhol, practice. And then one thing led to another. Then I beat Prem's speed. And I became, and then I joined Punjab group, Wampton. And then I started as a Dholi, but then I ended up coaching them as well, teaching and coaching, right? And then I formed Nachde Haste. So I was the manager and the coach and the Dholi. And wonderful artists came out of it. They was out of Tiranga group, but they came and joined Nachde Haste that I formed. And Bittu was one of them who became first a person I started teaching Dhol. And he got his own company, TSB School of Motoring. And he's got a wonderful son who started with me now. He's more than 6 foot tall, TJ. And and then the next person who started to learn, he was a wonderful. Both of them, there was wonderful Bhangra dancers in Tiranga group. Then when we started in Nathe Haste, we started Nathe Haste. I was so busy. And then at that time, our singing band that will talk about wonderful things, Apna Sangeet. So in between, I was so started to become busy with Apna Sangeet. Then I trained Bittu. And then the other gentleman who plays with Paji Malki Singh ji, Kamaljeet ji, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਢੋਲ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ yeah okay ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ that would make my life easy so because if I'm busy with the singing band at least they can carry on with the faith then Natsa Sasara formed I was coaching them and being the manager but there was wonderful Vijay and Jagpaji and the rest of the team but there was the more who wanted to go forward so they took a lot of pressure off me as well they became in charge so each team there's so many because I call myself Toli but I done so many other things on top of Toli like I wrote an educational book on Bhangra I wrote educational book on Tol that even Punjab which nobody wrote book just on Tol. And then I done 2 educational DVD, how to learn Tol, how to learn Bhangra. In 1983, before Apna Sangeet, I opened up a G-Mal School of Asian Dancing. First school of Asian dancing outside of India. If anybody opened a school of Asian dancing, that was me in 1983. I just love our art. Our Punjabi art, they got so much songs, roots in there. And the only person who would appreciate this, if you go deep down and search, our culture, every culture is good in their own way, every culture is stronger in their own way. But because I'm Punjabi, so I think about my art and culture. Being in the game, done so many world records on Bhangra, Tol, simply, sometimes, ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ if I wanted to do something I could use my name and spend that much money on myself I didn't need to spend on Dhol the record when you talk about Dhol the record it's not Gurcharan Mall people would say ਕਾਹਦਾ record ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ Dhol ਦਾ ਅੱਛਾ see what I mean there's a difference between somebody at the background the only person who want to know somebody's name if somebody was interested okay, organize kene kitta si? Who was the organizer? Otherwise, people not care. They want to understand what the world record was. Bhangre da hoya si, Bhangre da, and things like that. I live day by day. I love my art so much. And, many of time people say, Paji kado retire hona? Main kaha, yaar, I thought about it quite a few times. But every time I think, oh, kande nahi yaar, tu sade munde da biyah karke fir retire hui. So that's a compliment. That's a blessing. And these blessings, that keeps me going.
1983, I was 1 year old. Just to make you feel better.
No.
But, what was so, hopefully everyone's kind of still following me up until now. We've got to understanding how busy Uncle is at that point. When you got, what, in your own words, because the history of Bhangra and Punjabi folk, especially, is very difficult to kind of find the records on. So sometimes when I interview guests, I kind of let them say in their own words and their dates and things like that, because then I can't get it wrong then. It's up to them. So what was the story of how you joined Apna Sangeet? Because you were already successful at that point.
Before Apna Sangeet, there was another team. That's where I started to make some money and start to make a name. Because I was the first person to combine Tol and Dholki with the singing group. And that was Jagtar Basi and Sarvan Pattar. And birth from different mothers, but I always, up to today, I still call them Meri Bade Pai. I call everybody Mapaji, but they were so close. And, Pai Jagtar Basi, Sarvan Pattar, they used to go by the name. And then that was their, but then in 1984, Sadara and Kulwant, because they left Pachangi group, they formed a small band. And they used to take Paji Devinder Khalsi, that we used to work together because I used to be with Paji Jagtar Basi and he used to be with Paji Karnail Chima, and we used to get together, so he knew about me and whatever. And so there was 2 of them, and then they used to take Paji Devendra Khalsi on the tabla on some of the bookings they start doing, because there was only small bookings in them days. And then they had a university booking, and they said, and on the other side it was Alab Group, and Alab Group was already established. At that time, they, Sardara and Kalwan, they used to call themselves Fame Group. And so they can, only three of us, that's gonna look silly against 7, 8 members, right? And they already had a big name. So then they said, who shall we call? And Pai Devendra said, well, Gurcharan Paji, he plays the Dholki and Dhol. So they asked me, they said, look, are you Meccan? Yeah, no problem. He said, how about the money? I said, don't worry about the money. Let's do it. If you're happy with me, pay me, otherwise no worries. Yeah. And now this is the starting point of, we went there was only four of us, and there was about 6, 7. They done a wonderful job because they already was established band. And then I thought, this is not very good. Now, I went off the stage, right, because this is what I used to do. I used to walk off the stage, turn around, go backwards and all this, and then Toda Lake, then I went on to Chal, then Anak. Udano Sardare ne shuru kar, oh Gurana Ishq Mita, and that was the first team in the UK who started singing Gurna Ishq Mita. And with that, crowd just started going, and then we started.
Is that footage on YouTube? I'm sure that I've seen it where you've come off stage and when you.
But I used to do a lot of.
Where it was filmed. Where it was filmed.
Well, you see, what happened was in them days it was hard for the public to get up and dance. Nowadays, the DJ just put the music on, people start to dance. But in them days, you have to give them encouragement. So they used to say, "Yaar, yo nachda Dholki ta si." That's how that sort of a thing.
So I know I'm finishing your answers here, but being the showman, the front man, I know you've said that you took inspiration from the Rolling Stones and the Beatles.
Yeah.
But who in particular was it Mick Jagger? And then, but the Beatles were a little bit, because I know you used to, also while you're doing this art side and into Bhangra, you were still keeping on the mainstream and thinking what you can use.
So I'm just going to come back onto the little bit there. So I went with them. We done one more show. And then they said, oh, Gurcharan Paji, why don't you join us? Okay, look, every team I join, I want to become a member and equal share. Yeah, that's fine. We are happy with that. And then, but the other thing is, you're calling yourself Fame. And that doesn't look good. Agle ne kahna la, ye to apne aap nu pehle mashhoor kahande hai, right? We need to change the name, right? And then they said Apna Sangeet, right? That's a very good name, So 4 of us formed the name Apna Sangeet. We started calling ourselves Apna Sangeet. And that happened at my house at 195 Hollywood Road. 4 of us and decided saying Apna Sangeet, okay? And then after about 6 months, Jinder Paji used to go to Bhajan Paji shop on Fantex on Soho Road, and then he knew. And then he said, oh, it would be good if you get these 2 boys with yourselves. So then Nikki Paji and Jinder Paji, they came in. So then from there on, we just call it 6 members, Apna Sangeet. Because we were the first team to have Dhol, and we was also named as Big Drum Boys. And my Ustadji that I call Harvans Lalji, a wonderful gentleman who came with Jagmohan Kaur and K. Deepji. He was the first, only before me, who was playing in Punjab with the singing group. And then the reason I call him Ustadji, simply because when they asked me to play the Dholki with them, I was nervous, because at that time, Jagmohan Kaur and the K. Deepji, they was big names, right? And so the Dholki said to me, he said, Kaka, not to worry. जिथे तक तो ढोलकी बज गई है ठीक, जिथे नहीं बजी कोई गल नहीं, मैं टेक केयर कर लूँगा. मैं कहा यार, from that day afterward, I started calling Ustadji. And he was Harvans Lalji, a wonderful artist. They was all wonderful artists. The only thing was that they didn't get much recognition. Even with Bhangra team, because Dholi used to be standing on one side, and a lot of the credit used to go to the dancers because they were used to be up front. मैं कहा यार this is no good. एक तो मेरा dad नहीं happy. He don't want me to be a musician, and yet not getting credit. That's gonna be more because I used to be doing boxing and martial arts, so I had the fitness on me. So then I even start doing the same steps. What the Bhangra dancer, they used to say, oh yaar, Bhangra वाले ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਢੋਲੀ ਦੇਖੋ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ. Where even then with Apna Sangeet, yeah, and you know, like one thing, all the teams, Bhangra team, done the coaching, become a music producer, done the biggest amount of collaboration songs then in the world, right? But I still call myself a Dholi. This Saj, simply because these are the one I promoted them, and then at the end they promoted me. You know.
So when you, I mean, you managed to bring your skills from mechanical engineering as well, especially. So, you know, your dad was finally happy that way when he said you could use your pride that when you created like the world's first Dholki stand as well, because I was just saying about being the showmanship, being at the front. Was that, how crucial was?
Now, you know, it's a wonderful question because all our friends out there who's watching this, youngsters and older, because there are few things that other people start to say which is misleading the public, and not really, they don't need to do this. Yeah. Now, I started, the first modification I done was the toll. Not because I wanted to create something different or not. Because when we started on the toll, there was only about 4 good tollies. Paji Premji, Taranga Group, a great Indian dancer, Harbinder Paji, and then Jugunu Group, Gravesend, Sami Paji, and there's another artist who was a wonderful toll player. A lot of people don't know about it. That is Karnail Chima Paji. He used to play, he was the tolly for Sati Group's Medic. So Sati Group, Taranga Group, Great Indian Dancer, Jugunu Group, people used to say, if you want to watch competition, these are the team you need to watch. Yeah. So when I started, there was no toll shop in the UK. So anytime they needed a skin or some toll, they used to go to India to get it. So Prem Paji jaake phir jadon ta main kha yaar, because we can't get the skin where the tili used to be hit, that you'd get worn out, and because of being goat skin. So I used to turn around the toll, right? Use a different car, right? So holy, this is creating a lot of problems. Then at work, I made very small hooks, right? And so I used to have a white string, also chitti rassi hundi sigi. I used to paint the little hooks white as well. From a distance, they couldn't tell what it's a hook or not, because they used to say, "Tu pange le na rehna, koi na aate na." Then when we used to, inside the toll used to be tankana, you know, like high pitch, and then outside, because of the coldness, the sur used to drop badly. It used to go tap, tap, tap. And then, because we had no choice, I changed the skin onto a plastic skin. So then I started to fit the mic. So I only done it for myself, not knowing one day all the tolls would become with hooks on, right? They use the Dholki hooks, that's fine, you know, no problem. So that was one modification. Then...
Okay, just on the skin, one question.
Yeah.
Because when I started to learn off you, everybody used to have Rimo skin, ambassador batter.
Yeah.
When did that change happen? Like, when did people started using the drum skin?
I started in around about 1983, 84.
With that brand, or was it different brands?
Yeah. With Apna Sangeet, even with the Bhangra team, I started using the Remo. Yeah. And then other tollies start to, you know, and the second toll I done the hooks on, that was Kamaljit from Golden. Unhe aap kam to bana ke, main kaha you make them make main kaha main to okay honiya, because I can't keep on going to work and doing my own stuff. Yeah. Unhone kaha bhi tu sade kam karda te wo apna. Then he made the hook, then I put, and the other toll I modified was Johnny Calcy's first told that
Friend of the
that was
podcast.
it was goat skin both sides as well. ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਵੀ ਜਾਣੀ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਢੋਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਢੋਲ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਕਰ ਦੇ. So I done hooks on his very first ਢੋਲ as well, Johnny Khalsi's. And then ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ fashion ਜਿਹਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ. And then now about the Dholki stand. When we used to go to bookings, in olden days we used to use 2 chairs and one to sit on and the other one to put the Dholki on. And sometimes the chairs was not that good. They never used to hold the Dholki properly and it used to move and whatever. So sometimes it used to create a lot of problems. मैं कहा यार but you engineer, you done your qualifications as a tool maker and a service engineer. Why don't you make it? So I made Dholki stand with 4 legs that I used to sit on one chair and play. Then Dvinder ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਲਈ ਬਣਾ ਲਿਆ, how about me? But I can't find a right table because sometimes the table used to be so big, it used to occupy the whole of the stage. Then I made him a first tabla stand sitting down. So he used to sit on the chair and play the tabla on the stand. And I used to, फिर मैं कहा यार, this is okay, I can move, but I want to do turnarounds and jump up and then, I never used to be into tickets and luggiyan and offbeat. No. ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਠਾ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਦੇਸੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਈ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਵਜਾਉਂਦਾ ਕੌਣ ਢੋਲਕੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੀ. And then I made aluminium legs and for the extensions. So I put the extension underneath and that is a proof ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਅਮਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਨੇ 1985 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਈਵ ਏਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ. People could see it there and other as well. So, but it used to take too long to assemble. मैं कहा यार फिर मैं कहा कितना. Then I made, this is the first standing up Dholki stand in the world and that I attached.
There you go, right there.
Right, and then even I used to put mic holders and put mics on there, so wherever the Dholki went and the mics go with it, otherwise
you wouldn't lose the sound.
Yeah. So that, and then Devinder said यार तू अपने वास्ते फड़ के मैं बैठ के बजाना आया. Right? Mecca, no worries. Then it was so simple for me. I just used the keyboard stand. Now, this is not a keyboard stand. I made that. I cut all the pieces myself and weld them. I asked the welder one of my mates. And all these all put together from single pieces. And then for heads, it was easy. Then I just got a keyboard stand and put the top on the board on the top for him to put the tabla on. So it was easy for him to assemble and disassemble only 2 screws, take them out. And so this is it. So I love doing modification. I love doing different things because I said, no, yaar. Toli was lovely toll players, wonderful toll, excellent toll before me. Even now I'm doing it, just wonderful toll out there, excellent. And I'm going to be dead and gone, they're going to be wonderful tollies still. But the thing is creations.
It's the evolution, isn't it?
I done because so many different things.
By the time I started playing, it was in 97, I think I was. I think it was 97. Yeah, Mervyn Road, used to go down Mervyn Road. The standard then used to be, you get your toll, tali ala toll, which is 13-inch, make sure you've got the ingrains, the dark ingrains, it used to be judged like that, innit? I had an ambala toll, which was bought from India, which had a crack. And Sukhi, I have to say they were the original, like part of the toll blasters as well, and Sukhi, Bansal, both brothers, they got me into the toll. One summer, it was the first time they skinned it, put it down, varnished it, and there was a crack, and then you polyfiller go up the road, Wicks, I don't think it was Wicks then or something. And but to get a mic in a toll was whoa. That was the dream, wasn't it? To get get it put in there. And it wasn't, not anyone could do that. You'd have to take it to you to get it.
See, the thing is, because now even when they took the skin off, they know how the toll was fitting, but they didn't know the exact positions where it should have been positioned. They used to just look, but they did not exactly, because I was a toll player, so everything I was doing it on my own toll, so experiencing everything, what was right and what was wrong. I even put mic in the toll key as well. I tried that, but no. See, even in the toll, it was an easy way out, right? But the true sound is always from the outside of the skin, not inside. Even Dhol, we make do, but if you listen to the Dhol on its own, you will not hear the right sound of the Dhol from the inside, because the sound is always from the outside. But because apni majboori samjho, sometime they never had two mics, or they didn't have the stands or things like that. So that was the easy way out. So when everybody's playing, then some of the not clean sound used to disappear, so you could only hear just thinking it's a good sound, but it was not the true sound.
So I know you created, I mean, I'm going to come to the music section. I just want to finish this Dhol section off.
Yeah.
You created your own skins as well,
Yeah.
so it's moved on. Did you ever think about creating your own mics then, the sound to be put in there? Because if you know, like now, is the technology available where you could get the sound from the outside and not inside
Yes.
now?
I mean, nowadays, you can get drum mics, proper drum mics, that you can put them on the outside, and they produce a very good sound. Yeah, but in them days, when they used to put it on the outside, the wires used to be in the way.
Right.
So when I used to go turn around and whatever, used to cause a lot of problems. And but nowadays, these things called wireless. So technology, advanced technology, it does wonderful things. All the teams I've played with, it's a wonderful thing. And then when I started producing music, we started with Toe Blaster, me and Winnie Paji. We done the Toe Blaster. That was a wonderful hit. You see, all the ideas that came from me, because I done it in such a way that is the first album in the world live and remix, because there was tappe from different. The reason where I thought.
So who were the artists on that? Just for people, because I also want this. The podcast is also kind of an educational piece.
Yeah,
in that,
yeah,
to put
definitely.
it on there. So I used to be at the school opposite the studio. So Mervyn Road, where I've just talked about, that was also the studio as well.
Yeah,
And I used to be
this
at
was
Rookery Road,
recorded,
and we used to hear, and we used to see people like Shin DCS walking there. We used to be like, oh my God, and everyone used to run to the railings, and you lot were proper celebrities.
The
then.
first album that done was at Saint Records, Saint Recording Studio, and we thought about the idea. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋ ਢੋਲਾਂ ਦੀ tape ਕਰੀਏ. ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੇ ਕੱਲੀ ਢੋਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੀਤੀ, that's not gonna go down well. Let's bring some singers in, and all the collaboration, each singer thanks a million. Without them, project could not be happening. And I don't know why they used to listen to me, maybe because of my ugly face, they used to feel sorry. They said, okay, to make him happy, we'll take part. Sardara Paji, Kalwant Paji, Anadi Sangeet, Changi Group, Fig Paji Kanal Chima, he done the voice for A.S. Kang and things like that. There were so many. Balwinder Sop, oh my God. I asked Paji bit to play the Tumbi, Balwinder Safri. He stood there, he played, did not move, not even half an inch. Oh, मैं कहा भरावा तू साथ आ ले जा, तू तो हिलदे नहीं, you're like a machine. He stopped, and he was so tight with playing the Tumbi. I've never seen anybody like him. Obviously, his voice was out of this. And he done a recording, he done an album, and when they done the mixing, the level was too high, and the voice was just ripping. Everything was. And Kanda Paji, I spent a lot of money. How about if you put one of my songs in the album? I said, yeah, okay. But Kanda it didn't come out good. So what we done was, we kept that music low, then asked Paji, Apne Bhangra Paji, he was my right-hand man on the album. He done a lot of stuff, keyboard, mandolin, banjo, a lot of stuff. And Mecca, okay. So I asked him to play the mandolin pieces again, right? We play the Dholki and Dhol on top. Again, Topsy Paji, he done the Dholki on that, and obviously Vinny Paji done the Dhol. So we kept the other one, the original one, but a little bit lower, and then he sang it on top. Oh, Mele Mitrande, wonderful track, and he done a wonderful job. Each artist, each one I can carry on doing compliment from the heart, not giving compliment for the sake of, no. All the album. The last album, which was the hardest.
Why?
That was-
Why was it the hardest?
It because there were so many top artists on there, and then for you to do the music, because how can you compete with some of the best singers and best music producers? And then that was hard. That was Guru Nanak Dev Ji Gurpurab 550, 550 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ first album with 3 CDs, 26 songs, won the biggest collaborations on Tarmak song in the history. So something for all the Punjabi people to be so proud of. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ we had some of the biggest, ਭਾਜੀ A.S. ਕੰਗਸ਼ਿੰਦਰ ਚਿੰਦਾ, ਸਰਿੰਦਰ ਚਿੰਦਾ, ਸਦਾਰਾ ਗਿੱਲ, ਕੁਲਵੰਤ ਪੰਮਰਾ, ਆਪਣੇ ਸੈਯਦ ਜੱਜ ਜੀ, ਜਿਨੈਨ ਸੀਤਲ, ਬਲਵਿੰਦਰ ਸਫਰੀ. I mean, there were so many artists. If I, please, I'm really, really sorry if I miss somebody out, because there were so many artists there, wonderful artists. And I managed to do the music production on that. But it was a collaboration. Kulwant Paji ne bhi, the Sukhi Paji and Sukhi Chand ne bhi, so it was a combination of everybody. Then each artist, they spent money out of their own pocket to give one song each. So big, massive credit to each artist who took part in the 550 group 550,
I want to go back to your Apna Sangeet days then.
Yeah.
This is it, guys. Buckle up. So, the first album, Mera Yaar and Tour India, really. What was that experience like from when you were recording and then to come in, then able to perform on stage as well? Because there's one thing recording in studios or being there, might not be playing all the instruments, or you might be just in that whole experience, but then transferring that onto stage, it's a different energy and a different delivery.
Yeah.
How did you know that the band had made it?
The funny thing is, in the eyes of the public, we made our songs more hit doing it on the stage than actually on the album. A lot of people used to say, "Yaar, Sardare Kulwant, jehda tusi tamaka paune stage te tusi recording mein to penda nahi ga." But we used to make our own songs more popular, singing them. I mean, the first album and the second album, Tour India and Mera Yaar, was done by a wonderful artist, senior artist, Mulki Data. He was the music producer who done the music for Mera Yaar and Tour India. A wonderful artist. And then later on we used Paji Chanji Thuja ji.
Yeah.
Osaga Khushiyan. Yeah. And things like that. And so there was the other music producer, wonderful, another artist, Paji da, mere muh vich na aaya, ta Amarjit Sidhu Paji, he used him a lot. He also won best music director for ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁਰਦਾਸ ਮਾਨ ਭਾਜੀ ਦੇ ਐਲਬਮ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਦੇਖ ਜਵਾਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਹੀ won the ਅਮਰ ਹਲਦੀਪੁਰ ਜੀ, another wonderful, all the music producer, all the musicians we met along the line. When Apna Sangeet, we were the only band who used to go, the whole band, to Bombay. At that time, it used to be called Bombay Film Industry. Now it's Mumbai. And all the Apna Sangeet boys, we used to 6 members. So in 1 week, we used to do the album. And 1 week used to be free, so we used to look around and whatever. So it was like a working holiday. So before we used to go, we used to record Astai and the Antra. And then we used to send it. So Kulwant was very, very talented. Some of the songs he written. I mean, Mera Yaar was a big example. ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਗੀਤ ਉਹ ਇਦਾਂ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਜਾਣੀ ਕਿ nobody seen a Toli doing that sort of stuff. ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਯਾਰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਢੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਭੰਗੜਾ ਪਾਈਏ. ਐਂਡ ਹੋਰ ਵੀਰ ਤੇ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ. Like Apna Sangeet was a household name as a family band. Everywhere we used to go, people used to invite, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਲੇ ਕੱਲੇ ਸਿੰਗਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ, ਸਾਰੇ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਨੇ ਆਉਣਾ, because we are more into family type. Stage, we used to do it, and we never ever, like even now, I've been in the game for the past 56 years of my life, never ever touch any alcohol. Never ever. Yet I was the most craziest tour player in the world in them days. ਲੋਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਯਾਰ ਇਹਨੇ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਪੀਤੀ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਡਰਗਾ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ never ever.
Because I remember, you know, that's the era of the bands, and I always remember. I remember one performance from you in Victoria Palace, and I was just fixated, and I was like, the Dhol, and then that was the reason why I ordered a Dhol it was the early 90s. I think that was in 91, and then I remember like I just wanted to do that, but not everybody could do that. You know, the inspiration in terms of like, you know, that's what it's like, and I'm sure that story is going to be told from loads of people. But the point where you're saying about the experience on delivery on there, like you were a family wedding group. You seem week in, week out. You used to ask who's performing first.
Paji Chinda, Sukhjinder Chinda, a wonderful artist, Dhol player, Dholki player, tabla player, harmonium player, singer, music producer, and there was a docu we made. Na ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਭਾਜੀ ਗੁਰਚਰਨ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਿਰੰਗਾ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਵਾਲੇ was saying come on ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਚਰਨ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਆ ਗੁਰਚਰਨ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਵੀ ਪੁੱਠਾ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਹੋ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ I tried it but the Dhol just rolled off me ਕਹਿੰਦਾ since then ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ look it's only ਭਾਜੀ can do it I don't not even try you know like because all the artists we are family and we want to keep it like this you know like doing world records or producing these tracks. It's not to make a name for myself, it's just to show the public and the other artists, look, you can work together if you want to. And there's a big show happening on the 24th of August at the NEC, Local Heroes Award, yeah? And I'm creating another eye-opener because that's my last stage show for booking-wise, money booking-wise. I will still carry on doing free charity shows. Or if anybody needs to take me, I would go free happily. No money, nothing, right? Because God is great.
Is this this ain't the retirement announcement?
No, retiring in the sense of taking money bookings.
Okay. So
But
now
charity,
it's just that, like you was doing it for out of love anyway, but this is just pure love.
Yeah, there was paid bookings, unpaid bookings, whatever. But this will be just after end of August. It'll be anybody, they can take me when they're stuck for a tolly, right? And I would just go happily, free of charge, no money. And I want to concentrate more on doing charity work. They'll be the only bookings I will be taking anything to do with the charity work because they're not paid. I would take my team, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਆ, right? Just to give them a stage experience and whatever, you know. But I mean, I would never go out of music till the day I die. That's the reason why we opened up a musical shop, yeah, Apni shop, and we want to tell people when you walk in, I want you to feel and say to yourself, "Sachi gal hai yaar, ye sachi apni hai."
You've mentioned so many stuff in that. I'm trying to break it down.
Sorry.
Let's just finish with, let's just start with Apni Shop, and then I want to come back into the industry.
Yeah.
Apni Shop, the amount of history in that shop in itself, just talk us through what it is at this moment in time and why, what will somebody get from there?
It's not just about buying instrument. It's more for an educational shop and meet and greet shop. So artists come, they talk to one another, friends come, and also, you know, ਕਨੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਦਬੋਨ ਸੇ ਹੈ, they heard about a tumbi or they seen a tumbi, but ਕਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖੀ ਆ ਪਰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ, ਕਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਨਾ, they don't know. So when they come into the shop, I would explain, this is called tumbi, and this is called nagara, this is called rubab, and this is bukchu, and things like that. And then some of the things that I can play a little bit, I would play for them, but look, this is how they sound like. You know, things like even the little pieces I'm putting onto our Facebook. Like the other day, 2 days ago, I put about sap. You see, in olden days, in the Bhangra team, we used to call them sap, but now the Bhangra team call them shikke. So, Mecca, this is called chikke, and this is how you play a little, you know, like, and things like that. And the other, yesterday I put up Kunde, yeah, with this is Kunde, Munde, Nonjawan, Milliam, they used to put it on their shoulder, to show their strength and whatever. And then we brought them into the Bhangra. And then नाले फिर मैं थोड़ा जिहा गाता कट दो तेरियां रड़कां बापू दा खुंडा, you know, things like that. So anything I say, I make it into fun, I make it into entertainment. So people, when they come into the shop, they'll say, oh, we're gonna go to a person who's gonna be happy, who's gonna offer us tea and coffee and water, and also give them knowledge.
You paint a very good kind of community and that feeling togetherness, and every time I kind of speak to somebody from the older generation, especially with the involved in the Bhangra industry in the UK, there was that healthy competition between the bands in terms of like, you know, we're going to be doing, we want to, it's all brothers, everyone together, and sisters who are performing, and it got there. When did it start to change? When the band scene started to get smaller and smaller,
After
and the DJs, was there, in your opinion, was there something that you felt, something that happened, or what do you think?
I think, you know, with time things change. I mean, with us, Apna Sangeet, we never used to say, oh, we're gonna, tell on ja kidda.
Yeah.
No, we used to just go on the stage, do our best to please the audience, not to compete with anybody, because it's not a competition. I mean, before the stage, we used to be laughing and joking with Hira, Premi, Alap, Golden Star, Achanak, any band. We used to laugh and joke, but on the stage, we used to try our best to win the audience. And then off the stage, same again, okay, okay, what you gonna do on the stage? And it was more fun. It was teasing. People used to not get offended. The teams, they were so close with one another, a lot of love and respect for each one, but they used to go on the stage, do their best. Off the stage, like just friends. But now then a lot of bitchiness start to happen. Bitchiness only start to happen when you can't produce the best. If you're producing the best, why would you be jealous of somebody? Right? After 2015, around after 2015 or 2010, from then things start to change. But 80s, 90s up to 2000, Bhangra music was booming. Shows was happening here, there. People used to travel from miles. Jida Amarjit Paji, thank you, he used to do Asian Pop Awards. So other promoters from London, they used to do gigs, at the Hummingbird, and they used to be all packed out. And every band used to love performing and love entertaining, and the public used to love watching the teams. But then after 2000, after things start to slightly drift away, and then 2010 more so, and then it started to become more of a DJ scene than the live bands. And that's why, bands, the musical band, they were sitting at home doing nothing. So they start to form their own musical band, like the Legend Band. And then Belly, he formed his team. And then Tabzi Pazi, he formed his team. Because there was need for it as well, because the promoters could not afford each band as bands. But you see, to me, I feel bad for the musicians, because where the singers go out and earn money, the musician who made their name, they're sitting at home. Right? They work so hard. Keyboard player, it's not easy to play the keyboard. In them Prane Gitan, there used to be like 6 pieces, music, different pieces. Okay? There used to be 8 bars music, 12 bars music. 12 bars, and each piece used to be separate. So just imagine somebody learning 20 songs, the keyboard player or the tabla player or the guitar player, they have to practice, even if the singer didn't practice, but these musicians still have to. So I feel a little bit sad and upset.
I felt sad and upset when Apna Sangeet split and became Apna Group. And then happy again when it came back to Apna Sangeet.
No.
Was that, why
no,
did that happen?
No. You see, it never became Apna Sangeet.
Okay.
Yeah. We split because we had problems. I can't say Sardar was in the wrong, or Kulwant Paji, or Devinder Ji, or Nikki, or Jinder Kang, or me. It was things started to go a little bit. And it's nobody to blame. Because if I blame Sardara, then I'm to blame. Or if I blame Kulwant, then I'm to blame because we was all equal partners. But, because nothing lasts forever, we started to have misunderstanding and things like that. Then I said, look, I just want to call it a day. We had a wonderful run. I'll leave you 5 carry on. And, at that time, there was no tour players. Now there's so many tour players out of even my home team, tour blaster, you can. But then they said, let's call it a day. And then call it a day, and then Sardara and Kulwant became together. But because Apna Sangeet belonged to 6 members, because we was all equal partners, so they could not call Apna Sangeet. Otherwise, the other 4 members could have sued them. I mean, we wouldn't not, but then they said, let's call it near enough name, and they call it Apna Group. And then, because we started to perform with them as session players, and then people say, well, hang on, was there taxman problem? You're still the same. From Apna Sangeet, you call Apna Group. Why was it the problem with the taxman? You didn't pay enough tax or something, And
it's all the gold that you've got there. That's
And then, after I played with them for about a few months, and then I stopped. And then, see, after 5 years, they started calling Apna Sangeet. Even if they call it Apna Sangeet, even then, wouldn't have minded me. You know why? Because I'm a busy man. I don't sit on my backside. I'm a worker. I would make sure I do enough work for people to book me. Right? I use Gurcharan Mall to take bookings, not Apna Sangeet. If somebody give me a compliment, saying, oh, Paji, tu Apna Sangeet. I say, yeah, yaar. We was Apna Sangeet. We was like brothers. And we was like this. 6 members, nobody could touch us on the stage. Even Deepak Janti Paji said, can the animal, if we take you away from Apna Sangeet, we can walk over Apna Sangeet anytime. But because of you, you are the animal that stops us. Like it was only laugh and joke. Because every team, they was wonderful in their own way. And the beauty was that everybody had their own style. Golden Star had their own style. Apna Sangeet, we had our own. Alav group, they had their own. Hera group, Premi group. Every team, they had Paji A.S. Khan, super artist. A lot of love and credit to this wonderful artist, who given us the lead. Because he's the first artist going from out of UK who recorded his first album. He only went there to record one or 2 songs, or EP, you want to call it. But the gentleman, the director of the HMV, kenda yaar ye munda kaun hai? And he said, he's from England. Kenda yaar, his singing is too good. Kenda, let's do album. So it's a massive big. So to everybody, Pichangi group ho gaya, each artist, Wam to Geet group ho gaya, Hod jinne bhi Sohotas ho gaye, Anamika ho gaya. Each one, there's love and credit to each one because they all donated their services to bring Bhangra to where it is today.
When you look back on your career, what do you see? What are your main highlights that when you think about it?
Too many. There was, there was one show we done where Apna Sangeet started to get a wonderful recognition. And that was at Amarjit Sidhu's Paji show, which was the live Asian Live Aid, Asian Aid or something at the Dome, Odeon Cinema. And there was all the other team, they sang. We was the only team out of everybody who sang what the topic was all about. It was about Ethiopia, there was people starving to death. ਫਿਰ ਕੁਲਵੰਤ ਭਾਜੀ ਨੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਗੀਤ ਲਿਖਿਆ, ਮੌਤੋਂ ਭੁੱਖ ਬਰੀ ਵੇ ਜੰਦਿਆ ਮੌਤੋਂ ਭੁੱਖ ਬਰੀ, ਐਂਡ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਰ ਵੀ ਓਨਲੀ ਸੈਂਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ 4 songs and we had the crowd going madly because ਅਸੀਂ ਗੀਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਨੱਚ ਪਈਆਂ ਮੁਟਿਆਰਾਂ ਗਿੱਧੇ, ਅਸੀਂ we brought girls from Nottingham to dance on that song with us. ਫਿਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਯਾਰ ਵਜਾਵੇ ਢੋਲ, ਫਿਰ ਭਾਜੀ ਸਰਦਾਰੇ ਨੇ ਗੀਤ ਗਾਇਆ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਮਸਤੀ ਮਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਖਾਂਦਿਆ, ਐਂਡ ਵੰਡਰਫੁਲ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਜਸਟ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ। ਸੋ ਰੋਡ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਲੱਭਦ ਫਰਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਯਾਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਨੱਚ ਪਈਆਂ ਮੁਟਿਆਰਾਂ ਮਸਤੀ ਮਨਾ। ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੀਤ ਸੀ ਮੌਤੋਂ ਭੁੱਖ ਫਰੀ, ਦੈਟਸ ਵੇਅਰ ਪੀਪਲ ਗਿਵ ਅਸ ਲੋਟ ਆਫ ਕੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ। ਦੇ ਸੈਡ ਯਾਰ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਆ ਚੈਰਿਟੀ ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਗਾਇਆ। So each program, even when we went to Canada, different feeling, different. We went to Africa, different feeling, different. So everywhere, Malaysia, it was just, there were so many wonderful memories. The reason I'm saying wonderful memories, because our love was like this. All of us, we used to go there. I remember we went to Canada. First time or the second time, the gentleman, the promoter asked us, guys, you okay? ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਠੀਕ ਹਾਂ। 10-15 ਮਿੰਟ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਠੀਕ ਆ? ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ। ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਈ ਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸਟੇਜ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨੱਚਦੇ ਟੱਪਦੇ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਟੇਜ ਤੇ ਆ, ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ। You don't expect us to be loud in the house, ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਠੀਕ ਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਕਰ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। So there are so many wonderful things that in Europe we played on the same stage as a case, and there was in America, New York, we played at Prince. We went into the nightclub and always see a lot of pictures of Prince. We thought somebody must be really fond of Prince. Then we found out it was Prince's nightclub that we performed at, and he would have come on the night to see us play, but he was performing elsewhere else. So so each section, we had so many wonderful, happy occasions, wonderful shows, wonderful promoters, wonderful artists that we met, Gurdas Man Paji, Hansraj ji, all these artists we play alongside with them, Apna Sangeet ne, and even helping them to, if there was a musician shoot or something, we would happily, Gurdas Man Paji, Hansraj Paji, there was like big artists. And then there was a big moment for myself, me and Happy, my younger Dholki, we introduced Apne Lal Chand Jamuna Jat ji on the stage the first time he came. So, there are so many, even now, I mean, Sardara Paji, Kalwant Paji, we meet and greet just like brothers. What happened? We thought, look, okay, nobody can be together for life. It's part of life. It's that Waheguru, he does it. He's got his own plans for each member. And Sardara Paji is doing excellent. His performances are still good. He's still going abroad. Kalwant Paji, he's taking a little seat back. He just want to do little bits and pieces. So excellent. I'm busy teaching in schools. I'm busy teaching in, even now, before this interview, I just came teaching, and even performances. Life is wonderfully good, because the reason is good, because I want to live. And people who want to live, I remember this English saying, God only helps them, the one who helps themselves. If you want to help yourself, God definitely will help you. If you want to sit on your backside and say, nothing's going to be right. I go into schools, I give lectures now, right? And people treat me as a wise man, a man of wisdom, because seeing so many bad things, good things in life. And so I try to rectify these, and that's it.
I think what's important though as well, Uncle, is that when you have opportunities to hear stories from you and other people, loads of people have heard different stories about different situations, and you only get to have an opportunity to ask the person in front of you their interpretation, not my interpretation. And so when you do hear legends and things being mentioned, how does that make you feel when you see this legend coming on, or they're doing their work, and you're like going,
No.
you're taking credit for something that's not that
See,
they've done?
taking the credit of somebody else's work, which is wrong, and some artists do that, and it's very, very wrong because then you are stabbing the true artist in the back. Somebody who works so hard for it, and then you're taking the credit. That no, you need to take credit for something that you do yourself, not for somebody else's work. Or if you're doing it, give that person a credit, saying it's not purely my work, but I'm copying it. You're not going to lose nothing but apart from making friends. Because they say, yaar, ine dani kiti, he's taking the credit himself. He actually mentioned the person. Like I said, Harwans Lal ji, he was the first Dholki before me who used to play with the singing band. And but I took it to a different extreme. Yeah, because I didn't want to stand still. I wanted to. So that's why I still give credit to Paji Harwans Lal ji. Simply because they are senior artists. They worked so hard and they never made money.
Is it hard for you to kind of bite your tongue as well when you see people saying
Yes,
stuff and that?
Definitely. If the person is in front of me individually, then I would say it. Well, sometimes, people keep on asking Sardara and Kulwant about Apna Sangeet or the members. Sometimes they ask me, whatever they say, that's entirely up to them or whoever. If somebody asks me, well, can you talk about Apna Sangeet, the bad, what happened, whatever details, then I said, on my own, I will not. I would give credit and respect each member. If anybody want to hear the real what happened, then we 6 members, okay, Devinder Paji is not here anymore, right? But at least 5 members need to be together, then the truth will come out. It's no good somebody interviewing me, I'm running you down, then making myself good. No. Good is when all the members are there. That's why I respect each member. I still got love and respect to each member. We still meet one another, Sarara Paji, Kalwant Paji, Nikki Paji, Jinder Paji. He's one member who always keep in touch, about good things or bad things. If there's somebody, a death or something, he always informed Paji, thanu pata lag gaya, which is a good thing. And only the other day at Lali Paji's birthday party, we were performing together. Sadara and Kalwante was performing. We done the entries with the band Baja, and they done and I was sitting with his brothers. First time, me and Suki Paji and his big brother, we were sitting and having a laugh and joke. Because we still believe as family. Whatever happened in the band, that's different. That's a different issue. But you still not fall out with anybody. And if there's any problem, it's best to sit down. See, if I'm older and you made a mistake, then I need to realize, hang on, yaar, ye to chota saga, yedi galti ho gayi, that's fine. Then why do I need to make the mistake? I need to realize, I need to say, no, Gurcharan, you should not make a mistake. You be right. And where he made the mistake, you tell him and try to put him right. Not to, because he made a mistake, you make a mistake. 2 wrongs don't make a right. And especially for a senior member, elder member, if they make a mistake, that's a lot bigger mistake than somebody younger making a mistake. Sometimes young people, they make a mistake maybe without realizing that they are making the mistake. Because
what mistakes do you see now in the industry that are happening? What's your opinion of the industry now?
It's bad, unfortunately. There's so much bitchiness now with everybody, with musicians, with singers. They're all sweet talking on the face, right? I am not saying to anybody anything bad, but this is reality. and should not happen, don't need to happen, because there's work out there for everybody. See, if somebody book you, why should I be jealous? Either I need to come to you saying, yeah, give me some advice because you're heavily booked, but I'm not getting bookings. Or if I haven't got the guts or heart to ask you, maybe thinking might lower myself, then I need to follow you. Look at your work, how you're doing it, how you're talking to the public, for me to become better person. Instead of doing that, we're just backstabbing one another. We're cutting prices.
Yeah, because I see a lot of the talk, in weddings now, before it was traditional, you'd have a Bhangra team in there. And then now you're just getting Dhol groups again. And I was like, what, those Dhol blasters? That was Dhol Foundation. And then it's just, they're still there. But you see how busy, especially the younger artists, the younger guys in there.
See now, just to prove a point that our team, Dhol Blasters, although they're performing with other artists, formed other teams, but on the 24th, people are going to have a shock. How the hell Gurcharan has managed together? I'm not going to say too much because I'm giving the clue, because I want everybody to, some of them, they haven't even worked together for about 10, 15 years. That's going to be it's not because they don't want to, it's just because they're different teams. And they're living at different areas that is not comfortable, or some because of the family commitment, because then they were single, not married. Now because they're married with their kids. So
now they've got a different toll on their
and so every time I try to work something, it's about unity, that artists can perform together. Like I said earlier, doing music production as collaboration songs or bringing teams together, right? I even done King G. Mal's Inspired Arts Awards. I've done that for 9 years, spending money for the venue and the drink and the food, giving out 20 trophies to some of the people, some of the one I taught, some I inspired, and some I motivated.
And that's why you got given the name King, isn't it? So you haven't named it yourself. They've given you that name.
I mean, the amazing thing was, Paji Johnny Kalsi and Paji Pritpal, things happened, so they was not talking to one another. And when I given them the award, and they were sitting on the same table, and after the award ceremony, I went to them. They sit there. Kande Paji, thank you. The Pritpal, he always called me Ustad ji. I said, yaar, you're 6 foot tall, please don't call me Ustad ji because you're strong. And why thank you? Is because you got the Inspired Arts Award. That's one thing. But the thing is, we haven't spoken to one another for about 10, 15 years. Because of you, we're sitting on the same table, eating, drinking, and talking to one another. So these are things work in a wonderful way. Even Tabzi said to me once, Paji, I got 3 awards in my house, and they're all from Gurcharan Paji.
You've got loads of awards. I can't really go through how many. There's no point. Just follow Uncle's Facebook page and you'll see all the accolades that are there. Yeah. I want to kind of bring it to a close now because I know we're going to do this again. We have to.
Yeah.
This is called the Bhandwagon Podcast, and there's an opportunity for the guests that people jump on bandwagons, they jump off and that. But if there's anything that you want to get off your chest, this is the space to do so. Is there anything that when you look back on your career or things in the future or things as they are now that concern you or you're happy about? This is your space to...
The only thing I would say to myself is if I was retaken and then probably a better husband or a better father to my kids, because through music I haven't been a good father or a husband, simply because I was out all the time, working part-time, working full-time, part-time, then Bhangra Teams, singing band, Dholki chak ke udhar chal gaya, Dhol chak ke udhar. And so I haven't been okay. I used to bring money in to my kids. So they was fed okay, and then, everything was okay. But the only thing I did not give my wife as a husband, loving husband, I didn't give that. And to my kids, I didn't give them the love and attention and then sometime I look back, say, if I'd done that, maybe where I am today, people say you have to sacrifice something to achieve something. So that's the thing I lost to achieve where I am today. But thanks to my wife, thanks a million, she is 1 in a billion. My mom and dad, number one, although they are not in this world, but I never say they left me. And second is my wife. She is 1 in a billion. Thanks to her, where I am today, right? Thanks to her, to my mom and dad, and my children, who I think they love me indirectly.
I'd love you if I'm getting any of that gold coming in. I think there's some last thoughts, especially from me. I think it's the personality and characters and the stories of like yourself that, we could have done this for hours and hours. And I think we've got a real risk of losing this heritage, and especially the lack of young musicians new coming through. It's very difficult to get that inspiration and getting that connection with it from there. But I think what you do is that, you're on your own path, you're a trailblazer. And from all the achievements that you've done in terms of being part of one of the biggest bands in the Bhangra industry, evolution of the Dhol with your stands and the mics and, those discussions, the records, the charity work, everything like that. It's a very hard thing to hear from me when listening to all the things that made me happy, that it's a very difficult admission to make that it was at the sacrifice of a family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a parent, like myself, how do you balance that?
What happened? Because our time was different. Wives was different. Their thinking was different. Now the wives' thinking is different. They're modern. They're educated. If the husband want to go out, the wife want to go out. Yeah, or if they want to go out together. But some things they can't. I feel so bad about our art of Bhangra, because I promote more Bhangra dancers, Gidda dancers, and musicians, simply because we are the ones who left behind. We work so hard to keep, especially Bhangra dancers. Yeah, Gidda ho gaya, Bhangra ho gaya. They work so hard to keep the art because they are the ones who actually keeping the folk alive, Bhangra. And unfortunately, which I feel very, very sad about, people out there, they spend about £100,000 on a wedding. When it comes for a Bhangra dancing team and they're asking 600 or 700 pounds, they say, yaar, 20 minute da Bhangra pauna inne pahe. It's a very sad story. They don't realize that they have to go out of their way to practice. They practice first. They come in their cars, or they come and they pay for the venue, for the hire of the venue, for practices. Then they pick the team up, right? Hire a van or something. Then they go to a booking. Then they are standing around, getting all changed, but hanging around till somebody says, oh, okay, you can go on the stage. So really, they have wasted all that day as well. Then how do they come back to their family? They are married. And what could they tell their wives, saying, oh, and so, okay, how much have you earned? Oh, £B. Kena tera dimag kharab hai? So please, all my friends, if you need to keep our art alive, you need to pay the Gidda team or the Bhangra team. It's not going to hurt anybody, right? We can buy, just to show off, we can buy a bottle of vodka, 40, 50 pounds each bottle, and this 100 bottle, 200 bottle, that's okay. But for the dancing team who are keeping our art and our culture alive, please, anybody out there listening my voice, I'm not criticizing anybody. All I'm saying, if you pay them 800 or £1,000, it's not gonna lose nothing. If you can afford to pay a singer 8,000 pound, I'm sure there's 8 dancers, totally ex-singer. There's about 11 people involved on the day, but at practices there's about 20 people. So, if I said anything wrong, please forgive me, but do give them a little bit more money.
Thank you, Uncle.
Thank you. Ricky, my son, thanks a million. And what you're doing a fantastic job. I'm not saying because I'm here. No, I'm saying it, you are doing it because you're getting in artists, bringing them together and giving their opinions of different things. You're asking different questions. So some of the public who hasn't heard these things, at least they can hear this. So, lot of love and respect to you. And everybody who's on his channel, you need to share, love and share, simply because the more you share, the more other artists, musicians, dancers, singers, you name it, he can bring them to introduce them to you.
Copy that.
No.
Thank you, Uncle.
And this is what we need to do. Number one, my nephew, number one. Yeah.
ठीक है, Jesse? Let's go.
Jesse, thank you.
Oh, good.